So you guys might not know, but years and years ago when I was living in Seattle, so a very long time ago, I knew this content creator named Repsion. And it wouldn't be that uncommon for us to have known each other because we ran in the same circles when we first started off on YouTube. And then when I moved to Washington, we ended up physically meeting. We weren't close, but we were friendly. And we did a lot of collabs together, but I always felt like we never got very close because we had different values and different focuses, and we were both messy in our own ways. If you know our histories, you know, he was busy fighting with Onision, and I was busy trying to figure out my life, you know? So we went in different directions in terms of YouTube content. But Repsion, you guys requested that I review this video that he had done. And I'll be honest with you, I am quite disturbed by the video. And I had hoped that wouldn't be the case. I didn't know what had been happening in his life really because I don't watch Daniel anymore. His name's Daniel. And somebody in the Discord asked me to talk about it. And the video's weird. I'm not going to play. It's a weird video. And I did pre-watch it, which I don't normally do. But because, you know, I was just like, oh, what's this about? You know, if you know, I don't know. It's weird. Let's talk about it. Now Daniel's late diagnosed autistic. I'm late diagnosed autistic. Like I said, we both run the commentary channel. We both, our section of YouTube, we both were atheists back in the days. Like, it's just interesting to see where our lives went differently. And I do think it's a philosophical difference. Like, he still seems like he's in a toxic cycle and he still seems to be having issues. It's just like, it's so interesting, I think, to see like stagnation in people that you used to know years ago. And you think like, oh, it's been 8 years. Like, are you different? And it's like, I don't know, without talking too badly about a person on a journey, I guess I'm shocked by the video. I think I was just shocked by the video. But I also have to stop infantilizing these boys and I have to hold them accountable because they're men now. And Daniel's also queer. He's bisexual. So like, there's a lot about Daniel that like, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, he's messy and he's been messy. He stayed messy. And it's just like, it's kind of interesting. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Let's watch it.
So I have not told anybody this at all. So the internet gets it first before anybody. But I want to talk about a time where I was rejected, okay? And as a man, or a woman for that most part, it really doesn't matter what gender we're talking about here. As a man or a woman, I think that how we deal with rejection is really important. And it's important that we don't do certain things and be nasty and rude and cruel and just horrible to people because they are not interested in us, which in today's current dating climate is very, very common in especially the incel or manosphere world, where like if a man tries to get a girl's number or tries to hit on a woman for any reason and she rejects him, the response is typically one of vitriol and like calling them fat or ugly or, you know, a slut or things just being completely unnecessary for the sake of because you got rejected and your ego got hurt, right? A lot of how people respond to rejection is their ego getting hurt and they're not being able to accept the fact that not everybody wants you, not everybody likes you, not everybody finds you attractive. So at the start of the year, right, I was in a food court lobby.
I just want to stop there and say, I don't know where Daniel falls on, I don't know where what he's doing with his life. I don't know if he's progressive. I don't know how he identifies. Like, I don't know where he's at. But when a male presenting person makes content about the manosphere and he puts himself in comparison to the manosphere as something better, it also raises my like, ooh, because usually it doesn't follow with something good. So right away I was like, oh, wait, are you about to say you're one of the good guys? Because then he tells this story and I'm like, well, okay, wait a second. So let's talk about that standard as well. Like the standard of like, oh yes, compared to the manosphere, I'm good. But what does that even mean compared to what the ideal sort of is, right? Yeah. Discord said his already pretty binary language gives liberal. I think he is a liberal, which is kind of like not, you know, we're not liberals here. So, okay.
And I happen to be eating by myself. Something that I commonly do because I think that in a lot of situations, people need to be comfortable doing things alone, living alone, just being alone in general, and not jump from.
I mean, I agree with that. Like he's had a lot of bad relationships. Like I know you guys know about my toxic relationships. Like Daniel has had, and Daniel is going through the healing process. Like he is not unhealed. He's talked about it recently. So I caught up on a few of his videos in preparation for this stream, and it sounds like he's been going through it. So he's in his 30s. Hasn't stopped the generational trauma. He's still engaging in it. which everyone's on a journey, their own trajectory. I'm not here to judge that process. I'm just here to say that's also a red flag that you've reached your 30s and you're still kind of in that mindset, right? Like he's still kind of young. Like there's something, like there's a common, late starter thing that happens with neurodivergent people. So I understand that as a late bloomer myself. I just think that's interesting. Okay.
Relationship to person. I think it's important to be able to be comfortable being alone. And when you're comfortable being truly alone, doing everything alone, make a better partner. But that's just my personal opinion.
Sure. Like I think it's important to have a good relationship with yourself, right?
And whatever. That's besides the point. I was eating alone in a food court lobby at a mall. And I noticed
that was his first mistake. Why are we eating at food court lobbies? Why are we even at a mall? Just kidding. No, but really, why are we going to the mall? Just kidding. Love a mall. Just kidding. Love a Wetzel pretzel. Just kidding.
There was this guy and there's this girl sitting at the table and there's all these seats available. So I chose to sit right behind the guy at the table behind them. And I just ate my meal, right? Just a casual meal. And I listened because I like to observe and I like to listen. And I listened for over 45 minutes as I ate my food, right? It was very, honestly, I was judging the date. I could not judge the date because I was overhearing their entire conversation. And oh my gosh, let me just summarize it. So think of a 30, 40-minute conversation where one person has to hold the conversation for the entire duration, which was the woman. And this man, I kid you not, the whole time I was there, did not ask her one question about herself. Nothing. And in my head, as I'm eating, I'm thinking like, man, this guy is like not into her. He's either not into her or like, I don't know what he's doing, but like, this is a disastrous date because she's talking.
I just want to say, hold on, I should show you this. Daniel's stuck in 2010 YouTube. I know he is because look at his channel. Look at the thumbnails. The thumbnails are so, the topics, like the way he's making thumbnails and stuff, it's just so 2010 YouTube. And it feels like he hasn't changed. Like he's still the same guy he was 10 years ago, which is not a compliment. I am not complimenting you. I'm insulting you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels like, see, interesting. He makes a living talking bad about men. Cody Ko bad, Destiny bad, Onision bad. Yeah, so like all these men are like predators. But then Daniel goes, but me not bad. But then wait until you hear this story. Yes, you're not a predator because of this story, but you're something else. Something else that I also think is toxic.
And she'll ask him a question and he's really just short, maybe like a 1 or 2 sentence response. And I'm thinking in my mind, man, this guy does not know how to communicate at all, right? Like this is a disastrous state. So I'm waiting and I'm thinking to myself, I hope this guy, I'm gonna wait another 10 minutes. I hope this guy gets up and goes to the bathroom. Well, lo and behold, the dude gets up. He says he needs to use the restroom. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I normally am not this type of confrontational approach type person. But I was thinking to myself, she's behind me. He just got up and left. And I was like scattering my bag. And I'm like, I don't have a pen. Crap. Because what I was going to do is I was going to turn around, give her my phone number. I'm like, hey, if you'd like a more stimulating conversation, here's my number. Let me know. Right. I was just going to be really basic, very quick, and then dip. I'm like, I don't have a pen. Crap. What am I going to do? So I'm thinking there, I'm finishing the last few bites of my meal, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to wing this. So I got up, turned around, walked a couple steps, and I got on my knee and put my shoulders on like the table like this, and I leaned down and I'm like, hey, I heard that you're on a date. And I said, how's it going?
Okay. Do we all know what I've been talking about for 2 weeks? And I know you do. This is not what it means to be the adult in the room. This is what teenagers do. You are in your 30s and doing something a 15-year-old teenager would do. Putting your hands on the table. Hi, are you on a date right now? Like, I'm mortified that he has not grown up. Like, I am mortified at the stagnation that I'm witnessing in this video. Like, I was like, we have got to grow up. Yeah, bro is tipping his fedora in a scary ass way. He's all like, "Milady, are you on a date, milady?" Ma'am, Would you like a simulating conversation, ma'am? Like, sir, put your fedora away. And what are you doing? The thing with Daniel is he's been in therapy for years, has done none of the philosophical work. It's not like, it is what it is, but like he has been in therapy. But see, therapy without philosophical work is nothing. He still think like you are thinking like a 15-year-old. This is what teenagers do who don't know what dating is yet. This is not what a grown-up does in their 30s. Hitting on a girl at the food court while she's on a date? Excuse me?
And she kind of like sighed. She's like, and she looked at me and she's like, I think it's going pretty good. And I said, really? I said, is it?
So he negs her. Really? Is it going good? So this is a man who made a career going after bad men in some aspects, only to be one of the good ones, i.e. a bad man. Really? Is your date going well? Are you negging a woman at the food court, sir? I am so disappointed at this video.
Is it really going that good? Because it doesn't sound like it's going that good. Like you're carrying the entire conversation.
He is literally pulling like the pickup artist, like, oh, tell her date's going bad. Tell her she's like, I'm better, hit on. I cannot believe it.
And she sighs again and she's looking at me. And this woman is gorgeous. She's like, yeah, I think it's going okay. And so I said, okay, well, if you...
Just a reminder, y'all, this is the video he made explaining to the manosphere that it's okay to be rejected. Do you know what I'm saying? He made this video to lecture other men about how they treat women. Oh my God. Yeah, Discord said you should see his comments too on the replies. Oh, I did. Wait until you see how defensive he is in his own comment section. This is what I mean when I say unhealed, trapped in adolescence, not the adult in the room, therapy without the philosophical work.
I would like a more stimulating conversation. If you would like a more stimulating conversation, I would love to get your number. And I pulled out my phone. I already had the contacts thing already there. I'm like, could I get your number? And she kind of like I think she was shocked that I asked for her number. Look, I did this when the guy got up and left. I didn't try to cock block the man when he's right there. I wouldn't do that. That's pretty disrespectful in my opinion. But he got up and left.
Disrespectful to the man who wasn't present, but not disrespectful to the woman on the date. Chet said, why would somebody post this? Bro. Chet said, what happened to minding your business? He doesn't know anything about this woman. Bro. That's in the whole video is painting himself like the good guy. Oh my God. Do you see the misogyny? That man is disrespectful to the man to hit on the girl while he's there. But the moment he leaves, he swoops in. Who cares what she wants, right? Who cares? She told him twice the date's going well. And he's like, are you sure about that? You dumb bitch. He's like, are you sure? You're kind of stupid. You're a woman. Are you sure? Because you look kind of stupid, Like, literally, what? What?
After he had to go to the bathroom, and you're not doing a very good job as a man having like even asking a simple question to her. So like, if I can insert myself.
Oh, and then you once again didn't ask her the question, really. Like you assumed. You're no better than this guy, bro.
And potentially get another date for myself. So somebody who I can actually talk to, who can talk, because she's a good talker. I'll do it. YOLO, right? YOLO, you only live once. She looks at me and she's like, and she hesitates and she's like, I don't know about that. And I have my phone out like this. I said, okay, well, I love your nails and I think you're absolutely gorgeous. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your date. I got up and walked out. That's it. Super simple, super quick, super casual. I was not mad. I was not angry. She said
Why would you be mad or angry, stupid? No offense. God, I should be nicer. Why are you mad or angry? You're the one who interrupted her date. Chet said YOLO is a confirmation of the 2010 YouTube. Why would you be angry? She should be angry. You're so inappropriate. This is so inappropriate. God, like I am never going to stop being amazed at how people post this content on the internet and just say like current day, this just got posted. This, Chet said, I love your nails is for the gays only. He's bisexual. He is one of the gays. He is gay. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he's not queer. See, I would say he's not queer. Queer politics, I refuse to engage in a world where they'd let you do this. I feel like queer politically should also think about consent culture, like in a deeper, more profound way. Where's the deconstruction of the patriarchy here? Do you know what I'm saying? He might be bisexual, but he is not queer.
Didn't know, so I'm not going to sit around there and like pressure her to give me her number because she says she doesn't know. Well, that's her problem. And if she doesn't know and she can't act on the spot to like, maybe I want to do this, then it's not worth my time.
Oh, what was that? What did he just say?
So I'm not going to sit around there and like pressure her to give me her number because she says she doesn't know. Well, that's her problem. And
oh, that's her problem. Yo, this is worse the second watch. This is worse the second watch. That's her problem. So he is mad about the rejection. Why'd you say it like that? That's her problem. If she can't figure out that she wants to go on a date, that's her problem. Bro.
and if she doesn't know and she can't act on the spot to like, maybe I want to do this, then it's not worth my time. So I just walked away. And that's that, right? In a lot of situations where I see people get rejected, when I was walking away, I thought about myself. I'm like, man, why? And I was thinking, like, why do people get so angry when they get rejected? Like, people go ballistic when they get rejected by a woman. It's not that deep, all right? You only live once in this lifetime. People are going to reject you, whether you're ugly, attractive, it doesn't matter, right? People are going to reject you. It is part of a human nature and it's part of life. And as a man or a woman, you need to do better in terms of how you respond to those types of situations, okay? Your ego is not for everybody else to bounce around on. Your fragile femininity, your fragile masculinity, you need to get over it. You need to stop being a bitch, okay? You just need to stop being a bitch. That's what it boils down to. Because if you're going to the internet, I don't know if you guys have heard the T website, that there's a T website for women, and then there's a T website.
Just a reminder that he is autistic and that I understand that I'm sympathetic to the late bloomer part of it, but he's also just like not doing the philosophical work. I'm sorry. See, I want to explain the awkwardness, but I actually think it's values more than anything else. It's the fedora assuming assumption that he's one of the good guys and not like these other men, but he's adjacent. He's not as bad as the Predator boys, as far as I know, but he is adjacent. You are toxic. This is misogyny. This is bullshit. This is gross. This woman is on a date she feels is going well, and you're interrupting her, questioning her assessment and saying, well, if she can't figure out that she's on a bad date, that's her problem. What? Yeah, Chet says it's the entitlement. It's just, oh my God. And to have it out on your phone, to be prepared, to eat your dry hair in your soup, cafeteria food, and mind your business. Okay? Oh, please. Thank you.
In the last week for men, where people go and they complain and they expose people for like, this person rejected me, and then they're also exposing people for being bad people, but it's also like a place for people to vent anonymously about how terrible this person is. They went on it. It's like, just stop and realize that you're part of the problem when you contribute to things like this. If you get angry and upset and your first instinct is to call somebody a name because they rejected you, you are the problem as a man or a woman. Okay, because I've seen this happen both. Obviously, it happens way more with men being rejected.
Very man or woman talk. I'm not sure. See, this is giving me liberal. You know what I mean? What about the non-binaries, gender fluids? As a man or as a woman, he's like trying to do the both sides. He's always, like, you know what I'm saying?
Rejected, but I've seen it also happen with a woman gets rejected by a man and they lose it, right?
Wait, Chad says he also said he was there for 45 minutes. Does it take 45 minutes to eat lunch? Yeah, when I take myself out to a restaurant, I stay for like 2 hours. So I'm not going to fault him on that. I love taking myself out to a restaurant. I do stay for 2 to 3 hours. In Croatia, they stay for 6 hours. Guys, in Croatia, the whole culture is stay for literally hours. So I'm not about to fault the 45 minutes. But I will say, maybe, she's a shyer person, and maybe he was overhearing a conversation in which the guy was monologuing because she's more of a shy person. Or maybe, he didn't ask her any questions and it was actually going fine because she told him beforehand, I'm not comfortable yet. Like, we don't know the context, right? We don't know the context of why the date went on, where it made Daniel feel like, oh, I get to interrupt their date because he hadn't asked her anything about herself. Yeah, but neither did you. You approached this lady and you said, you're on a date. Is it going well? How's it going? And she said, great or fine. And he's like, really? Really? You didn't ask, hi, I know you're on a date and this might be really inappropriate and absolutely crossing some boundaries here. I think you're attractive. I'm kind of interested in you. I'm not sure if this like person is like a long-term dating. He didn't do any of that, which by the way, still would have been inappropriate. Hear me out. There is no reality for Brittany in which he was allowed to interrupt that date. So I just want to make it abundantly clear, even in his world where he gets to interrupt the date, he did it wrong. He didn't even ask her. He didn't even preface anything. But like, just a reminder, there is no world in which I think it is appropriate to interrupt somebody's date. Even if the date is going badly, unless there is abuse happening or somebody's about to be like hurt, you mind your business. I cannot tell you how many times I've been at a restaurant with friends overhearing like a divorce in motion, like in action. You mind your business. Okay? Like there is just, unless there's a violent that's about to, like something violent, there, you know what I mean? Just as I thought she said she was monologuing. No, he said the guy was monologuing and didn't ask her any questions about herself, which he felt like was a shame. Like that's why he wanted to rescue her. See, he's a white knighting. He's white knighting. Oh, I got to rescue her from her bad date where her date's not asking her any questions. And it's like, no. It's just like, mind your business.
I'll call them all sorts of nasty names just because how could she be rejected? She's this haughty, or she's wearing this beautiful dress or lingerie and she got rejected. How dare she not be able to get any man that she wants, right?
Wait, chat says, I've watched this video twice and hold on, let's go back because two of you said you heard that she was the one talking. I don't know if, hold on, let me go back because I don't think that would make any sense, right? Hold on. It does, hold on, let's go back.
Because I like to observe and I like a 30-40 minute conversation where one person has to hold the conversation for the entire duration, which was the woman. And this man, I kid you not, the whole time I was there, did not ask her one question about herself.
So he's saying, so she was monologuing, but he wasn't asking her any questions. Wait, that's even more of a, wait, you guys are right. But wait, that makes it even worse that he approached her. Wait, that makes it even worse that he approached her. Well, I watched this video twice and I misheard both times. Wait. But isn't that worse that he approached her? Because like, wait, I thought the guy was monologuing and didn't ask any questions, but she was vibing. So the girl was vibing and getting to rant because I'm a ranter in my relationship. And not that my partner doesn't communicate as well. Wait. Why did he interrupt their date then? Chet says that's your biased thinking, Brittany. Maybe. Wait. She was leading questions and asking the questions and he was not reciprocating? Wait. That's what I was saying. She could have been autistically monologuing. Oh, for sure. But also, so could he. Even if the guy was monologuing, he could have been autistically monologuing. What does it matter? As long as the people on the date are happy, what does it matter? Because now, okay, wait, now I'm seeing the date again. So wait. This is why you guys have to watch with me. Okay, listen. So now in her head, a man just approached her and said, like, is the date going well? And now if she already has an insecurity about talking too much, she's gonna be like, why do you think that? Do you think I'm talking too much? And if he feels like the guy is not into her, let the date go that way. Wait. Yeah, Chad said because he thought he would be more interesting to talk to than the guy she was on a date with. Ew. Chad says this is autism on autism crime. Yes, it is. Wait, that's still so bad though. That's so weird. Yeah, it doesn't matter who was talking. What matters is like they're allowed to have a date that goes that way. That's just so strange. Why did he do that? Oh my God. That's so funny. Plus, 45 minutes in the world of other people isn't that long of a time. You could monologue for 45 minutes and I'd still be listening. You know? It's not like I don't know. That's so funny. Thank you for the correction though, guys. Thank you for correcting me.
I don't know if you guys have heard the T website that there's a T website for women, and then there's a T website just in the last week for men, where people go and they complain and they expose people for like, this person rejected me, and then they're also exposing people for being bad people, but it's also like a place for people to vent anonymously about how terrible this person is. They went on it. It's like, just stop and realize that you're part of the problem when you contribute.
Oh, you too. You're part of the problem.
To things like this. If you get angry and upset and your first instinct is to call somebody a name because they rejected you, you are the problem as a man or a woman. Okay? Because I've seen this happen both. Obviously, it happens way more with men being rejected, but I've seen it also happen with a woman gets rejected by a man and they lose.
Wait, Chet says he also said he chose to sit directly behind them in the food court. Wait, what? Going back.
Not everybody wants you. Not everybody. Food court lobby. And I happen to be eating by myself, something that I enroll to be comfortable with. But besides the point, I was eating alone at a food court lobby at a mall. And I noticed that there was this guy and there's this girl sitting at the table, and there's all these seats available. So I chose to sit right behind the guy at the table behind them.
Uh, uh, I'm so glad I'm watching this with you guys. You are catching things I didn't catch the first time I watched it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yo, that just escalated so big. That is so scary. Imagine you're this girl and okay, scenario. Repsion walks up to this girl. She says, yes, I'll go on a date with you. And then he has to tell her this story of, oh, I could have sat anywhere in the food court, but I sat right behind you guys having your date so I could listen to your conversation. Does that not feel like a stalker behavior? Am I fucking confused? Not to throw around that word so loosely, but like, how does this even make any sense? What? That's crazy.
Because they rejected you, you are the problem as a man or a woman. Okay, because I've seen this happen both. Obviously, it happens way more with men being rejected, but I've seen it also happen with a woman gets rejected by a man and they lose it, right? I'll call them all sorts of nasty names just because how could she be rejected? She's this hottie, or she's wearing this beautiful dress or lingerie and she got rejected. How dare she not be able to get any man that she wants, right? Men think the same way too, okay? This is not like, I'm not trying to divide the genders here, but like it happens on both sides. I've seen it happen on both sides, and that's why I'm talking to both. How you deal with rejection is really detrimental to your psyche and who you are as a person, and you just need to be better. You need to do better. You need to not take everything as a threat and in a crack to your ego, and realize that life moves on and that there'll be other people that you can ask out and you may get rejected, but not to take it personally, because this is how I live my life. And I would not be able to work the job that I do in the transit world if I took
He drives buses for Seattle, apparently.
everything personally. I genuinely don't take things personally
Chad says, is he talking to himself?
from anybody. Unless it's like my mom or dad or family, like I'm super close family, that's different. But like internet.
Well, I guess he won't take this personally, but like, bro should be, you should not be allowed to talk to girls or boys or anybody. So hopefully he doesn't take this personal, but maybe he should. Girl spent his whole life calling out boys and their bad behavior. Sounds like a shield, sounds like a cope for his own bad behavior. That's crazy, bro.
Even random strangers, people on a bus that I'm transporting, asking somebody on a date. I don't take anything personally, because the moment I take things personally, I start making assumptions about who that person is. And I make all these unrealistic, unreal, unfair assumptions about someone because I'm upset at their response to something that I did. And I think that's unfair. I think it's unfair to make all these assumptions about somebody because you got rejected, because you can't handle it. And it's easy to reflect and blame and point fingers at other people when the problem was with how you respond.
Oh,
anyways,
brother.
That's my food for thought.
Okay, please pay attention to that. Pay attention to what he just said.
The problem was with how you respond.
And just wait till you see the comment sections, girl. Wait until I show you his comment section for the way he responded to people saying, Daniel, this video was kind of fucking weird.
Anyways, that's my food for thought. I just wanted to share this little story with you because it's okay to get rejected. It is okay to get rejected. If I have any incels watching me or manosphere, get over it, okay? Seek therapy, get help. Realize that your response is why nobody wants anything to do with you. You talk about the male loneliness epidemic. Well, that is partially because you men look up to people like Andrew Tate, and you think that the manosphere actually works. That the techniques and the treatment and the way that you operate on a day-to-day basis and treat other people and your other humans, men on men, women on women, men on women, women on men, it's disgraceful. Anyways, those are my thoughts.
He talks like a teenager, bro.
Support the sponsor of the channel today.
Yes, I just said bro as I said that, but he does.
A link down below in the description. It's Vance Global. As
yeah, he's like so teenage in his head still. Chat says, Britt, do you think the fact that he specifically chose to sit behind the couple might change your perspective of him not being a predator? Yeah, I definitely think it adds to the possibility that he might be, right? Or, you know, there's like some part of the culture, I don't know what the bubble is. I don't know who trained him. I don't know if in his world that makes sense. But like in my world, that's the creepy behavior, at least minimal creepy, right? Like I can't know his intentions, but I will say minimally creepy behavior. It's just really strange behavior. It's so inappropriate. He's in his 30s. So I definitely think it adds to the possibility for sure. Right? Chad says, I heard that she was trying to have a conversation, but the guy wasn't reciprocating a conversation, but either way, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, either way, it doesn't matter. It's just like the weirdest decision to make. Chad says, I thought he just said he chose to sit there. Yeah. Discord, yeah. I've seen people talking and chosen to sit behind people, but not to listen just because it was a good spot. Yeah, but like, if the whole area is empty and there's only a few tables that are taken up, why would you sit next to the people unless it was a good spot, like specifically near the like if there was a waterfall or something, or there was an exhibit in the mall you want to sit next to? But it made it sound like he wanted to listen to their conversation more than it was just a good spot, right? Because I'm not that girl. I'm the girly that unless maybe it's next to an exhibit, I'm sitting as far as I can from people. You know, I want privacy because I want privacy. It's one thing to have to be pushed into a group of people, but like if there's a bunch of empty seats, I'm going far from people, you know? Yeah, he actually said he wanted to listen.
In us, which in today's current and unnecessary for rejection is that likes you, not everybody lobby. And then I caught general comfortable being alone. Besides the point, I was eating alone at a food court lobby at a mall. And I noticed that there was this guy and there's this girl sitting at the table, and there's all these seats available. So I chose to sit right behind the guy at the table behind them. And I just ate my
directly behind the guy at the table behind directly. What?
The guy at the table behind them. And I just ate my meal, right? Just a casual meal. And I listened because I like to observe and I like to listen. And I listened.
Yeah, the smile after he said that, he knows it's bad behavior. I feel like the smile he gives tells me he knows it's bad behavior. Like, you have to know you're being inappropriate. This is so fucked up. Okay, look at the comment section, though. It's so much funnier. So I think I personally would feel awkward being confronted that my whole conversation was listened to. He said that don't talk loud. It's that simple. I hear so many conversations I don't want to hear on buses. That's not the point, bro. They said, to be honest, I feel uncomfortable too, but I wouldn't be bothered or offended. It would likely go the same way. It can be awkward of an interaction, but how much more awkward than one-sided date? I've been in her shoes. No, it's just awkward either way. And then this one says, depends on the connection to the content of the conversation. Like Repsion said, if I know it's personal, I keep my volume down. If it's just nonsense, then I shout away. And then they're talking and it says, I'm just trying to think from the perspective of the girl, but I don't know, to be honest. In this situation, I may either feel weird or open to a spontaneous conversation. And then, let me see. This one. Yeah, I think you put her in an awkward position. It seemed like you were trying to one up the guy who just left, but I still respect the fact that you were bold enough to approach like that. It's something I've struggled with, having the confidence to do that. No, don't have the confidence to do that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Don't have the confidence to do this. This is not the opportunity you guys are looking for when people say go out there and ask people on dates. When people are saying go out there and ask people on dates, they don't mean people who are already on dates. Okay? And Chad says, does he have a savior complex? I think so. I think from my understanding, he's had a lot of toxic and abusive relationships. He's been cheated on and stuff. But I think from my understanding, he's kind of like a white savior. And he tends to pick up girls that are like pretty damaged, but then he's damaged. And so they, you know, from my understanding, right? Okay. And then let me see. This one. It's insane you just stepped in, LOL, and tried to played it up like a video game. And he's like, if only video games worked in real life. Yeah, but like it is crazy in a bad way, right? Let's see. There was a comment I saw, but I don't see it here now. I saw. Okay, how about this one? Putting this mostly just on men doesn't exactly feel right. I'm sure it happens more often than men rejecting poorly to be or reacting poorly to being rejected, but I think it's just because men are way more likely to approach a woman and ask her out than the other way around. And the Repsia says, you clearly didn't finish watching the video. Good job. This is about women too. But like, is it about women too? Is it about anybody? What is this video about? Putting this all in the man's court just because they're usually the ones to make the first move doesn't really seem fair. But the thing is like his lack of criticism of the girl, because like maybe comes from a place of wanting to rescue her from the date. But I think the issue is that Repsion felt entitled to cockblocking mid-date a guy who he felt wasn't up to par. Right? Like that's the issue is like, it's not the, oh, you blame the man. Oh, you blame the woman. No, nobody needs to be held accountable. It's not your date. It's none of our business. None of us should have known this date occurred. It's like they're out here like saying like this is a great life lesson about men and women and dating dynamics. A man and a woman were on a date. Mind your business. You know, like what are we even talking about? This is just so weird. Women being useless and unreliable will always will always make me laugh. Ooh, damn. This one is for the ladies. How do you feel about getting asked out while working? While working? One time I was working in the deli and one of the customers, because I'm friendly to everybody, slipped me his phone number. And I was like, oh, but I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, that's so sweet, but like, I don't know you. And you only know me in the context of working at the deli. We don't talk. So then I'm like, it's like a confusing thing for me. This chatter on his chat says, love the confidence. That didn't feel like confidence to me. That felt like entitlement. This one says, I think they meant to say, I hear what you're saying. I don't know if it's just me, but the arms on the table and kneeling down would have freaked me out a bit on a personal space level. Maybe I'm just weird. No, that was fucking weird. That is so fucking weird that you went over and put your hands on the table and interjected yourself into a date. No, it was weird. So to the person on Discord who asked me to review this video, yeah, it's weird. You're right. This is fucking weird. It says, this one says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. She might have been worried because he knew where she lived or something. It might have gone differently if he was no longer in the same building. Bro, you're not getting it. You're the weirdo. You're the weirdo. You're so weird. You're so weird. You're so weird. Oh my God. I love how adorable you were to that girl. I can't believe she said no. Big ups for you trying. She missed out big time. Yo, what? I love how adorable you were to that girl. This has a girl picture in the icon. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I really admire your positive attitude towards rejection. I completely agree with your perspective. Unfortunately, society doesn't always share that mindset. When someone experiences rejection and others become aware of it, it often becomes a source of ridicule rather than understanding. Rejection is really received empathetically by others, which makes your outlook even more admirable. I wish more people could approach it this way. You probably could start by not bothering people. Good for you for even having the confidence to shoot your shot. Something I could imagine having. But yeah, it's important to take things in stride. Guys, stop interrupting people's dates though. That's crazy. Oh, I just I cannot. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Are these bot chats? Are these real comments? They must be real comments, I guess. I'm surprised somebody with autism would do that. I have autism and I would never have the guts to ask a stranger for their number upon meeting them like that. And I would have worried about him coming back soon. On the contrary, I would have expected someone with autism to do that. Yeah, literally. On the contrary, I actually think it's your autism. But it's not. It's your values. Because people who aren't autistic would also be fucking entitled like that. It's you being a man and entitled in the dating world. Because at first I was like, man, you are fucking autistic that you thought this was okay. But then I realized it's not the autism. It's your values. He felt proud of himself. But maybe, I don't know, in some ways, my brain does want to give him that explanation to explain it. Like, hey, you're being autistically weird. But it's got to be values more than that. What made you think this was appropriate? And this is why I don't want to keep giving people I don't want to explain away people's bad behavior, but if this is your autism, then you need to get it under control, right? It's like the guys I tell you I've worked with in the past who are all like, they're adults. Their autism is obviously playing a role, but it's like their values are the issue. You know, Chet says the autism only amplified bad values. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Like BPD doesn't mean you're a bad person, but your values do. Like just because you have a struggle doesn't mean you're a bad person necessarily. It's your values, right? I find it ironic that the video on the front of his page is called Boundaries. No way. That's so funny. Wait, is it really? I think Daniel is the kind of guy who goes to therapy and learns the speak, but doesn't understand it in like an embodied way. Like he doesn't really get it. I don't see the boundaries one. It must not be on my page. I know every page looks a little different. But yeah, like he must have just like, I don't know. He has this like trauma video.
Every single one of us, you and me, have it in some way. How we choose to move forward, how we choose to cope with it in healthy ways, and how we decide.
Not asking a girl out. Here's a video, narcissism.
NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. Let's talk about narcissism. Because, oh my goodness, I'm sure you've met a narcissist at some point in your life. Maybe you've dated one. Maybe you've married one. Maybe you've divorced one.
Oh, I think he married a girl he thought was a narcissist or something. I don't remember.
Right? Narcissism. A very, very heavy big word, which I feel like often gets used in situations that are not applicable for certain situations.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of like in a fucked up era of his life. You know what I mean? And he just thought this. Look at these videos. I'm crashing out. Like, what is this?
Then it's typically the 20th of the month, every single month. So I'm like this close to crashing out right now.
Oh, hold on. I just realized you can't see it.
So I'm like this close to crashing out right now. And let me tell you, oh my God, today is Friday, August 22nd, 2025. And oh boy, you know, it's just sometimes those days in life where you want to scream and take your phone and smash it into somebody's skull or upon your...
Nope. I'm not an angry person. Girl, that's what I'm saying. He's unhealed, girl. He's unhealed. Chet says, does he talk about what therapy helped him at all? I don't know. But talk therapy, Chet's mentioning autism and therapy. DBT works really well for autistic brains. But I've heard talk therapy is less good for autistic brains. And so maybe he's just doing talk therapy, you know?
Desk, or maybe punch a monitor, right? Just to alleviate that absolute anger that you're struggling with, because just... This is the day out of 2025 that I want to scream and bash my face into the wall because everything is just not cooperating with me today. So let me tell you the life of a normal human being when I screw up something, okay?
It's a bummer. Yeah, inside thoughts, Daniel. Like, these are inside thoughts you share with, like, a therapist or something. These are not things you take to the internet. Like, crashing out on the internet is so 2010. Like, we're not crashing out on the internet anymore, guys. We're over it. What are you, Trisha Paytas? Like, we're not doing it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, Chad says he sounds like he has a lot of anger in his tone. Anyone else? Yes, girl. Yes, this is anger, guys. This is crazy amounts of anger to show on the internet. Don't even doubt yourself. Don't even gaslight yourself. This is not a question. This amount of anger is not for the public for. We should not be on the internet.
Sometimes those days in life where you want to. So I'm like this close.
Look at this. Why are you doing? Even if you thought you were being performative, you shouldn't be performing this way in your 30s on the internet. That's what I'm saying. Like, are we gonna grow up? Okay, you know when you go back to the town you grew up in and your friends from high school are still working the same job? You know what I mean? That's Daniel. Like, it's been like 10 years and you're still this person, bro. Chad says, is he manic? He's itching a lot. No, I think he's autistic and angry. And I think sometimes people do show up this way on stream because they know it's like interesting. Like, it's called crashing out right now. I think they do it because they think it will get views. Like, I do. You know what I mean? Like, I think we've all been angry. God, I've been angry in my life too. I used to come to the internet angry. Like, I'm not sitting here saying I'm better than him. I'm saying I cannot believe you still haven't healed from your anger, dude. I'm not denying that I used to be an angry person. I used to come to YouTube and I would rant because I was so angry. But like, hello? Hello?
To crashing out right now. And let me tell you, oh my God, today is Friday, August 20th.
And he's probably frustrated because something went wrong with work or whatever, right?
You're pretty much screwed on getting your money on a timely fashion.
So he's frustrated because he's not going to get paid or something. Okay? So he's mad at something that's like real world. So in other words, something stressful happened and he has no way to cope with it except be angry. And I understand that a lot of people are like, you don't know what it's like. I do know what it's like. And eventually you stop being angry when you can't pay your rent. You just go, it happens. I can't tell you how many times as a content creator myself, like Patreon is slow or something goes wrong or you can't pay your rent. You know, your rent has late fees. You can pay it a little late. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, also, like, this is why in life we strive to have a savings. We strive to have a buffer. I'm not saying that it's wrong to feel stressed. It's saying when you're healed, you just don't, you know what I mean? You just don't take it to the internet. You know, you're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to have emotions. But like, why does the internet know what's happening? You know?
And don't even get me started on sponsors specifically, because you want to know a little trick about sponsors? They don't pay you typically until 2 to 3 months after you've done the work. So, like, it's really frustrating to work with companies who do stuff like this. But I digress, right? I'm getting distracted. So, I have this website, third-party vendor. I can see all my sales.
You know what it is about Daniel that just gives me, like, inconsistency? Look, he was a very successful YouTuber who mostly made a living going after Onision and creating drama with Onision, right? He almost had 1 million subscribers, but then abandoned YouTube, got a regular people job, but then comes back to YouTube. He has no stability. Remember? And I'm not talking badly about him in a bad way. I'm saying you're stunted, because I was doing this in my 20s where I was like, okay, I'm going to quit YouTube. I'm going to do this job. I'm going to come back to YouTube. I'm going to do this. There's no stability. I think he went to school for underwater welding when I knew him back in the day, and I think he was like he was constantly like, I'm going to sell my channel. I'm not going to sell my channel. Like, he was offering to sell his channel not too long ago. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he is still in that, you know, will they, won't they with his own life. He's in a toxic relationship with himself. And I'm waiting for him to figure it out, but I don't think he will. This video is so, like, this first video we watched is so inappropriate, but the way he's been using the internet like a diary, have we not learned not to use the internet like a diary? It's one thing to share what's happening in your life, but like, don't use it as a diary. You know what I mean? I mean, this was like, I don't know. It feels like there's no like adulting in this. There's no like grown up in the video.
I had around $1,500 that I was supposed to be paid on. Well, I was actually supposed to be paid last month. I was supposed to be paid last month, but guess what? This website, because it's so.
I think this is performative neurodivergence. I think neurodivergent people, because I feel like I used to do this in my 20s where I would like over exaggerate the way that I was feeling because I thought it'd make a better video, but it actually just made you look crazy. So you guys might see him and be like, oh my God, he's crazy. He's manic. Maybe his brain is like, this will make a better video. It's not a better video. Yeah, it's giving Pierre. To be fair, Pierre was really going through it. Pierre, that's another person who I'm like, this boy cannot figure it out. He sold his channel. Talk about a guy who could not figure it out. Like, this is what I'm saying, guys. Some people never figure it out. Just as he's playing it up. Yeah, it feels like that. But this is why I just want to say, I'm not here to judge you, but I am here to put a line in the sand and say, like, bro, if you can't figure it out, sucks. But like, it's so interesting that you got to 30 and didn't figure it out. You know, it's like all these streamer boys, all these guys on the internet. Do you know what I'm saying when I say I want to be the adult in the room? I refuse to be this. I refuse to reach 40 and not figure it out. Jet says it's giving masking because he doesn't want to fully internally understand how to process his emotions. For sure. Yeah. It could be, I think when we watched his autism assessment on stream, didn't he say he has alexithymia or something? Maybe he struggles to know what he's feeling. Discord said Brittany being in the same circles as people who I watched as a teenager and me first discovering her during both of our more heal times rather than then it is interesting and funny to me. Yeah, I think that's what's so fascinating is like I was there This is why I say I'm grateful I never got popular in my 20s. Because even though I was there and I was collabing with these people, I was never like a main player. Even though I was there, I was like in there in the background. I'm just so glad my more healed version of myself is doing much better. You know what I'm saying? I'm just so glad that she has a bigger chance of like being more stable and in this scene. But yeah, all these people are crashing out for a reason. I mean, I hate to say it this way, but it is the reason why ContraPoints is crashing out with her liberal takes on Gaza. Daniel's crashing out with his mental health. Destiny is where he's at. Like, all these people are stunted. And if we don't pay attention, we won't know how to break it in ourselves. And I'm just saying, I don't want to be them. They are just examples of who I do not want to be in the story, not as a consciousness, because I don't know them like that. Even though I've collabed with them, it's in the story. I don't want to be you. Like, you know, I just don't want to be you. And I think that's what we should think about. I think we should think about, like, is this who you want to be or who you don't want to be? Like, I just watched a Dr. K video this morning, and I was like, it's about growing up, why you won't never grow up. It was a fire fucking video. It was good. And the Discord recommended it. And I was watching it on my own, and I was like, this is so good. But this is what I've been talking about. You're not going to grow up until you want to. But you got to stop, you know, thinking you're a grown up because you pay rent. Paying rent is not what makes you a grown up. It may make you like an adult, but I mean like a grown adult. Reliability, consistency, wisdom. I was just talking to my partner about this. Like, we were discussing, you know, philosophy, of course. And we were like, you know, what's wisdom? What's this? What's this? And, you know, it takes a lot of understanding to understand like what makes somebody wise and what gives people, like, I always say, like, wisdom is kind of like discernment plus action. That's kind of how I was thinking about it. Like, I want to have the discernment plus action. So, but I want to have it more than just on occasion. I want to have it more and more and more and more as much as possible. And it feels like there's a lack of discernment and action, therefore no wisdom. And a lot of these things that we keep seeing, you know, it's just kind of crazy. So, you know, when I look at like certain people, I just see them and I think, okay, like, I love Dr. Kirkonda's like wisdom. I like certain people's, but I also don't put them on a pedestal. I think that's so important. And then I like Dr. K without putting him on a pedestal. I see the good. I see like what he's doing, but it doesn't mean that we don't have differences or you know, criticisms. It means like, okay, I can see something that I'm like, I like this. When I see you and I think I don't want any of this, you know what I'm saying? Chad says I turned 40 this year. Congratulations. And while there's a level of still figuring it out that accompanies every age, there's a point where you decide to be an adult or not. And this guy has not reached that point. Yeah, I really think, first of all, congratulations on reaching 40. I can't wait to be you. I feel like I'm so close, but so far away. And I'm so excited. And I just can't wait to, you know, always know that I'll always be figuring it out. But there's just like leveling up to this. That's what I'm saying. Oh, that's what it is. I cannot believe after all these years, he hasn't leveled up. I feel like it's so obvious I leveled up, right? If you go watch old Brittany compared to now, it is so obvious I have leveled up. And that's what I'm holding on to. I'm holding on to the data. I'm holding on to the reality that I know I have leveled up. And I'm so proud of myself because I really did that. I just can't believe some people sometimes haven't leveled up. It's just, I'm shocked. You know, I think I am shocked to some extent. I'm just like, whoa, like, I don't know. With like, I'm not trying to judge the consciousness. I'm just trying to understand where people are in the story. And yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just so grateful for all the work that I've done to not be that person anymore. And I hope the same for Daniel. I hope he just processes the reality that, like, is this who you want to be, bro? Is this who you want to be in the story? Because goddamn. Okay, hold on. Let me try to find this video. I want to see if I can find it. God, this was so long ago. This was literally 12 years ago, probably. Are we in 2025? 13 years ago? Oh my God. All these videos of me crying on the internet. So funny. I wonder if I deleted it. I don't know. I feel like I don't delete a lot of my videos.
So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow reptiles, to another discussion type of video.
We're like babies.
This is my friend Brittany. She's been on my channel before. She's made 2 other videos. One where we sat in her apartment, drank coffee, and talked about feminism. And the other video she made on my channel was
all right, there you go. I found something. Okay, well, I don't know what's happening here. I haven't watched that video since we put it out 11 years ago. So whoever that girl is, I don't know her anymore, but you know, there you go. Blast from the past. So I wish Daniel the best. It sucks to see somebody you knew even slightly, even just for a second, not get better. Chad says you look like he tried to talk to you while you were eating at a food court. Gagged. Chad says you look scared. No, I'm just socially awkward, bro. Honestly, I'm just I'm an autistic girly. Both of us were undiagnosed autistic together. And you know what's so funny is like, I always had complaints about how people socialize with me because it was so confusing. And it was really just autism on autism crime. Daniel and I were just like two little autistic kids making videos 11 years ago. Like, it's weird to see like where you were and where you've gone and to see people like in a similar place. You're just like, oh, like you didn't pop the bubble, you know, like you didn't get better. That's crazy. Wow. All right, let's move on.